from your local news leader. This is KQ2's Live at 5.
Chillicothe police arresting 2 people over the weekend. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jody O'Brien. They were arrested after an overdose of a 17-year-old female. Police say the girl died after ingesting what they are calling counterfeit prescription pills Sunday morning. According to court documents, 32-year-old Jeremiah Horton and 23-year-old Taya Kelly were taken into custody following an investigation. Livingston County Prosecuting Attorney Adam Warren charging Kelly with a Class C felony, delivery of a controlled substance, and involuntary manslaughter. Horton is being charged with the delivery of a controlled substance. In a probable cause statement, Warren says the defendants knowingly distributed fentanyl under the guise of Percocet at the local gas station. A heinous act of animal cruelty is now under investigation by the St. Joseph Animal Control, as a veterinary clinic is now offering thousands of dollars in rewards to anyone with information. We must warn viewers that the story may be difficult to watch. Monday afternoon in Savannah at Angels Vets Express, they encountered the worst case of animal cruelty they have ever seen. Vet staff say 2 men brought in a dog they said was found on South 13th Street in St. Joseph. The dog barely holding on to life, abused so badly that we won't fully show you the images. The clinic estimates the abuse went on for weeks until yesterday, when staff say they had no choice but to put the animal to sleep.
This is one of the most horrific cases of neglect that we've ever seen in 37 years of being here. The dog's head was almost eaten off with infection. It looked like a skeleton with hide on it. Been totally emaciated. There was no body there, and the dog was in tremendous pain and suffering. And this dog laid there, whoever had it, laid there for weeks in this condition.
The St. Joseph Animal Control is investigating the incident. Angels is offering $2,000 for anyone with information that could help find the suspects. If you have any tips, please call Angels at 816-324-5824. And in Clinton County, the Sheriff's Department and the Missouri Department of Conservation are asking for help finding poachers. The Conservation Department posting on social media that this white-tailed deer was allegedly shot from the roadway near the intersection of O Highway and Southwest 225th Street near Trimble. The department says that the incident happened late last Thursday night or early Friday morning. If you have information, please call the Clinton County Conservation Agent, Zach White. His number 816-646-6926, or the operation of Game Thief at 800-392-1111. A cash reward through OGT may be received if information does lead to an arrest. Well, fall, it's giving us some beautiful days, but cooler temps may be on the way. KQ2's Juliana Cullen in for Mike Braciano tonight.
That is right, Jody. It was really nice out there today. We were in the 70s. It was sunny, a little bit on the windy side, but we actually topped out about 10 degrees above average for this time of year. So while it was comfortable, we're still a little bit warm, but it looks like tonight into early tomorrow morning, we have a cold front headed our direction, and that will bring us back our October-like temperatures. But outside right now, it's still beautiful. We have those mostly clear skies out there. You can kind of see the tower cam shaking around a little bit. That's that breezy southerly wind, and that pushed most of us into the mid to upper 70s today for your high. And you can see that wind right now coming out of the south, 20 to 30 mile per hour wind gusts across the area for this evening. And that is going to continue as we move towards the overnight hours as slowly this cold front starts to approach our area. So the rest of your evening, if you have any plans out there tonight, it should be beautiful, comfortable. We are going to start to build that cloud cover into the area overnight tonight. And I do have a slight chance for a few sprinkles in the forecast early tomorrow morning, but it looks like the rest of your Wednesday should end up being dry. Jody?
Thank you. Developing tonight, a report of a sexual assault at a St. Joseph's school. KQ2's Ron Johnson is live tonight with what we know so far.
That's right, Jody. We're live here at the Webster Learning Center where this alleged incident happened. But the school district officials, they're not really saying a whole lot right now. They're not providing a lot of details at this time. The district, in a statement, only saying that they are aware of a matter and they could not share of any information about students. Police also telling us that because juveniles were involved here, very little information could be released, but that the case was handed over to the juvenile office authorities. Now, we reached out to juvenile authorities today, too, and they would only tell us they had received the case and it's under review by their legal team. We tried to ask the school district officials about additional questions today about what took place here, but they declined to answer those questions. They did, however, say in the statement that the district takes concerns regarding student safety very seriously. That's the latest from here at Webster. Ron Johnson, KQ2 News. Jody?
Ron, thank you. As college campuses continue in the fight against COVID-19 nationwide, Missouri Western and Northwest Missouri State University trying to do their part. Both campuses finishing up their vaccine incentive programs, trying to increase their vaccination rate among students and staff. Missouri Western with 30% of students vaccinated, and Northwest reporting 57% of students fully vaccinated. Missouri Western officials saying their incentive program has helped significantly, but no, there is still more work to be done.
Our incentive program, Max the Vax, it helped us move the needle a little bit. We started out with vaccination rates that were lower, and we almost doubled those rates for students, and we're at 85% for our employees. So we were happy with that part, but we know we've got a ways to go.
And Missouri Western going on more than 2 weeks without a positive COVID-19 case. Tonight on KQ2 News at 6, we will hear more from both universities. In 2020, Halloween brought creative ways to trick-or-treat and celebrate the holiday during the height of the pandemic. This year, candy hunters and families were all preparing for round 2 of Halloween during a pandemic. Health officials across America are giving the green light to go from door to door, but local health officials still show concern for children who are not yet vaccinated.
We don't have children vaccine available for those 11 and younger yet. Children are still at risk, the same as last year. The numbers are declining right now, so that's a good sign. We just hope that this is not the calm before the storm, and that we don't see that increase like we did last year.
That's a haul of candy, masked costumes, staying in smaller groups and passing out candy to kids instead of them reaching in the bucket are just some of this year's recommendations. We'll have more tips and take a deeper dive into the COVID case numbers after the holiday tonight on KQ2 News at 6. The death of an American icon is spotlighting the potential dangers of COVID-19, particularly for those in high-risk groups. And as the holiday season approaches, there's new guidance from the CDC providing recommendations on how to protect the most vulnerable and help prevent another winter surge. Camila Bernal has the latest.
The death of former U.S. Secretary of State Colin Powell serving as a reminder of the continued threat of COVID-19. Powell's family says he was fully vaccinated but suffered a rare breakthrough case. Powell's longtime aide telling CNN he was also battling Parkinson's and multiple myeloma, a form of plasma cancer that suppresses the body's immune response.
General Powell represented our most vulnerable population in this country.
Only 1 in 26,000 fully vaccinated Americans, or 0.0004%, has died of COVID-19, according to the CDC, while the risk of dying from COVID-19 is 11 times higher for unvaccinated adults, underscoring the importance of getting the shot.
We get vaccinated as healthy people, in part to protect the most vulnerable among us.
As the rate of new infections continues to decline, health experts warn against complacency.
It's so important to get vaccinated for the good of the community to keep the level of infection down.
The CDC releasing guidance Friday recommending all eligible Americans be vaccinated and continue wearing masks indoors, particularly in areas with high transmission and around those most at risk, like young children who are not yet eligible for the vaccine.
When you do that, there's no reason at all why you can't enjoy the holidays.
I'm Camila Bernal reporting.
The St. Joseph Community Chorus is back on stage again. The group had its first concert in almost 2 years last night at the First Presbyterian Church in downtown St. Joseph. When the pandemic started hitting hard, there were several COVID outbreaks among choirs nationally. Experts at that time recommending against group singing. The group might have had their masks on for this performance last night, but they were very excited.
A lot of us felt like our lives had just kind of stopped. our freedom of expression to create just kind of went out the window, and we didn't realize how much we'd miss it until it was gone.
It's been very, very difficult, I think, everyone in society, but for performers and singers, it's been just a terrible thing.
The group is already planning a holiday concert for December, and we'll have more on the community chorus return to the stage tonight on KQ2 News at 6. Still to come on Live at 5, the very latest on the Capitol riot investigation and what we know about their plan for Steve Bannon's refusal to participate. Close to home. Yeah. That's okay, but always know that if you tell me, it's easier and faster than telling Joseph to tell me. I know. It's okay. I just can't even read his mouth or anything because he has a mask on. And yes, yeah, we got it fixed. So yeah, always feel free to talk to me. Welcome back. Tonight on Capitol Hill, the House Select Committee investigating the January 6th riot is scheduled to vote to recommend Steve Bannon be held in criminal contempt for failing to comply with its subpoena. The vote comes as former President Trump is suing the committee for trying to gain access to his records related to any actions he may have taken surrounding the Capitol insurrection. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze has more from Washington.
The congressional committee investigating the deadly January 6th insurrection is set to vote to recommend Steve Bannon be held in criminal contempt. The advisor to former President Trump is refusing to comply with a congressional subpoena and give testimony, citing executive privilege invoked by Donald Trump. Bannon hasn't worked in the White House since 2017. His resistance comes as the committee seeks to understand the role Trump may have played in the riot. The Justice Department will ultimately decide whether or not to pursue criminal charges against Bannon. After President Biden rejected Trump's executive privilege claims, he added that those defying the committee's subpoenas should be prosecuted. Press Secretary Jen Psaki later trying to clarify.
And the president continues to believe that January 6th was one of the darkest days in our democracy. He also continues to believe that the Department of Justice has the purview and the independence to make decisions about prosecutions.
Former President Trump is ramping up his own effort to block and delay the release of presidential records related to his behavior surrounding January 6th. He's now suing the House Select Committee, saying the request amounts to nothing less than a vexatious, illegal fishing expedition openly endorsed by Biden and designed to unconstitutionally investigate President Trump. The committee responding, the former president's clear objective is to stop the select committee from getting at the facts about January 6th, and his lawsuit is nothing more than an attempt to delay and obstruct our probe.
Now, the full House will have to vote with a simple majority to hold Steve Bannon in contempt of Congress before the question is referred to the Justice Department. Elizabeth Schulze, ABC News, Washington.
Still ahead for you on Live at 5. Congress back in session and now with a renewed sense of urgency to pass President Biden's economic agenda. How negotiations are going.
And we have sunshine and some cooler temperatures on the way for your Wednesday, but rain chances arriving by the weekend. I'll be tracking those showers for you coming up after the break. But first, a look at your almanac. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Well, Mike might be out tonight, but KQ2 meteorologist Juliana Cullen is in for him, and she has a heck of a forecast to talk about today.
Yeah, beautiful day, beautiful week ahead of us. So it's really been nice to kind of end out October. We're finally feeling a little bit cooler and the sunshine out there. It's just been beautiful.
Temperature's going to drop, though.
It is going to drop a little bit. We're a little above average, so we have some wiggle room to get us back to those October temperatures, but at least it's going to be sunny and dry, so it should be really nice out there.
Absolutely.
All right, well, let's start off outside. It's gorgeous for this evening. We're having sunshine out there. Very minimal cloud cover. If you notice the tower cam shaking around a little bit, the only thing that we've had to deal with the last few days is a pretty breezy wind out there, and that just helped warm our temperatures up. So 76 was your high today, 67 typical for this time of year, so we're almost running about 10 degrees above average. 90 is the record, 1963, 18 the record low, 51 is where we started this morning, 42 is pretty typical. So it's still pretty warm during the morning hours, and tomorrow you can expect a lot of the same. Outside right now, though, everyone is still sitting in the 70s. You can see that breezy wind coming out of the south. Besides that, really quiet on the radar. You can kind of see up towards the north, though, where those clouds are. That is our cold front that is eventually going to slide into our area. It's going to take quite some time, though. I think most of us won't see that cold front until later on tomorrow morning into the afternoon hours. So the rest of your evening, comfortable, pretty calm out there. It's still going to be a bit on the breezy side if you have any evening outdoor plans, but we're staying dry. Overnight tonight, maybe a few clouds out there, and we do have the chance for a few sprinkles early tomorrow morning as this cold front approaches. The front just doesn't have a lot of moisture associated with it, so I think the vast majority of us will stay dry, but don't be surprised if you see a few sprinkles out there and a few clouds through the morning hours. Notice those winds will slowly start to shift and come out of the north, and that's going to push in a little bit of some cooler air for the rest of your work week into the weekend. So again, most of us are running about 10 degrees above average for this time of year, so we have a little bit of room to move towards those cooler, more October-like temperatures, but I still think it's going to be really comfortable as we move towards the next few days. The thing we're going to have to worry about as we move towards the rest of work week is just a little bit of cloud cover. So besides that, it should be beautiful out there, and the wind should start to calm down as well. Tomorrow, still going to be on the breezy side. We'll have those wind gusts in the 25-mile-per-hour range, but by the time we get to your Friday, those winds have really started to calm down. It looks like the weekend, at least the first half of the weekend, should be beautiful. 58 tonight for your low, cloudy skies, maybe a few sprinkles out there as that front approaches. Tomorrow, 70, so cooler than what we saw for today. 60s for the rest of the work week. I'm tracking your next chance of rain arriving early Sunday morning. Jody.